Mornings with Think and Grow Rich and Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich and Napoleon Hill have inspired millions onto success. One of the biggest reasons people succeed in life is because they are optimists. They get up and look at where they're going with perhaps an unreasonable belief that they will succeed. With only a dream. Often with only a dream they push forward, and when an obstacle appears they ask how can I solve this problem? How can I get to where I want to be? They look for a solution believing that it is there. Most people don't have the habit of asking how can I, where is the solution? They don't ask how, and if they don't, how can they expect an answer? One of the most common causes of failure is the habit of quitting when one is overtaken by temporary defeat. Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich tells the story of being 3 feet from gold. One of the most common causes of failure is the habit of quitting when one is overtaken by a temporary defeat. Every person is guilty of this mistake at one time or another. Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. All achievement, all earned riches have their beginnings in an idea. Action is the real measure of intelligence. All the breaks you need in life wait within your imagination. Imagination is the workshop of your mind, capable of turning mind energy into accomplishment and wealth. An uncle of R.U. Darby was caught by the gold fever in the gold rush days and went west to dig and grow rich. He had never heard that more gold has been mined from the brains of men than has ever been taken from the earth. He staked a claim and went to work with pick and shovel. The going was hard, but his lust for gold was definite. After weeks of labor, he was rewarded by the discovery of shining ore. He needed machinery to bring the ore to the surface, and quietly he covered up the mine, retraced his footsteps to his home in Williamsburg, Maryland, and told his relatives and a few neighbors of the strike. They got together money for the needed machinery and had it shipped. The uncle and Darby went back to work the mine. The first car of ore was mined and shipped to the smelter. The returns proved they had one of the richest mines in Colorado. A few more cars of that ore would clear the debts, and then would come the big killing and profits. Down went the drills, up went the hopes of Darby and his uncle. Then something happened. The vein of ore disappeared. They had come to the end of the rainbow. The pot of gold was no longer there. They drilled on, desperately trying to pick up the vein again, all to no avail. Finally, they decided to quit. They sold the machinery to a junkman for a few $100s and took the train back home. Some junkmen are dumb, but not this one. He called in a mining engineer to look at the mine and do a little calculating. The engineer advised that the project had failed because the owners were not familiar with fault lines. His calculations showed that the vein would be found just 3 feet from where the Darbys had stopped drilling, and that is exactly where it was found. The junkman took millions of dollars in ore from the mine because he knew enough to seek expert counsel before giving up. Hill goes on to talk about the fact that before success comes to anyone, that person will meet with temporary successes many times. Welcome the problems, embrace them. Use them to train your mind to see past them at your desired outcome, and then ask how can I, how do I? Ask with an expectation of an answer. In the story above, R.U. Darby, who had invested in the mine, lost a lot of money. But he took the lesson of giving up when 3 feet from gold, and made great success by resolving not to repeat the mistake of giving up when a temporary roadblock was in his way. Personal motivation strategies. That is a lesson we can all take. The problem presents itself, and instead of going home and pulling the covers over our heads, we ask questions. What can we do next? How can we go over, around, or through? Your mind has greater power than you may know. It is your connection to the infinite, and yet most of us keep it focused here on the earth plane rather than on the infinite where the solutions lie. Think and Grow Rich and Napoleon Hill have turned the minds of many from ordinary reactive thinking into believing in the possibility of great success, turning those minds from being reactive into being visionary, turning those minds from not believing that all things are possible into being extreme optimists. Can you look at a problem or temporary failure and ask yourself, what is good about this? Remember Pollyanna, a great book and a Disney movie where Pollyanna comes to live with her aunt out of a tragedy of her parents' death. Through her optimism and looking for the good, she turns a cranky, closed-minded town into a community of understanding and possibility. I recommend that you get the movie and watch it again or read the book. These are great attitudes to take in and make a part of you. Become a believer. This is really what Napoleon Hill was writing about in Think and Grow Rich. Believe in the power of your intentions and of your ability to affect a desirable outcome in your life. Think and Grow Rich and Napoleon Hill have inspired millions onto success. One of the biggest reasons people succeed in life is because they are optimists. They get up and look at where they are going with perhaps an unreasonable belief that they will succeed.